What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. A lot of things to talk about in today's live. It's- Man, I haven't been live in like, hold on. Okay, there we go. So there's a lot to talk about. We're going to discuss Erika Kirk, obviously. We're going to discuss her ties to the I'm trying not to say certain words in this video, certain rumors about Erika Kirk. Um, we're also going to I'm a bit rusty. I got videos playing all over the place. We're going to discuss Erika Kirk, obviously. We're going to discuss the rumors that surrounding her, some of the legitimacy, if they're legitimate or not. We're going to discuss some new videos that have come out about Erika Kirk, which just keep leaking. We're going to discuss Mel Gibson. I know that's random, but he is going to be connected to some of the things we're going to speak about. And we're going to discuss the film Sound of Freedom. If you know, you know, because it's related to some of the accusations that surrounding Erika Kirk and the people surrounding Turning Point USA. All right. So I just want to give everybody sort of an overview of what today's live will be about. Before we hop right in, hit the like button on your way in. As always, I would really appreciate it. Ooh, I'm a little rusty, man. What's up, everybody? Good to see y'all, man. Um, okay. So for those of you that don't know, a lot of information has been coming out over the past couple of days. Let me go ahead and address a question that I've been getting so that I don't have to talk as loud. Let me go ahead and address a question that a lot of you all have been putting under some of my videos, which is, Didi, have you given up on the Charlie story? Didi, did you see what Candace said? Didi, um, what do you think about this? Why haven't you been live in a week? I will be more than happy to answer that question for you. The short answer is because I only want to speak when I have something to offer. I don't feel it's in good faith for me to go live just to brainstorm. I don't feel like that's honest because I will be making money um without actually helping. And the truth of the matter is there are quite a few people that are making a career out of the Charlie Kirk situation, which in itself isn't a bad thing. But they're making a career out of just clipping things that Candace said because they know it to get views and they're making a lot of money off of it. And that's really what it's about for them. You'll know because some of these people will go live. And I know a lot of you all care to know what some of these people have to say. But if they're not actually helping help advance the investigation that the public has been doing, seemingly the feds have not been doing, if they're not doing that, then I don't want to be a part of it. You know, I don't want to milk something just because it's lucrative, right? Yes, I've made money off of this story, but I don't feel it's in good faith to just simply continuously putting out videos about things other people have said, other people mostly being Candace. It's just not good. It's just there are far more interesting things to talk about. So that's why. So I want to keep that to a minimum. A lot of people have been enjoying the attention they've been getting from this Charlie Kirk thing. So it's going to be very difficult for some people to look the other way and not go live, not make videos about it because they're getting a lot of attention right now. Some people more attention than their channel has ever gotten before in the past. Okay. So there's that. So I want to just address that at the beginning. And for those of you that don't know, Erika Kirk, Candace actually shared some information about Erika Kirk. All the things that I've shared on Candace, I'm on Erika. I think my channel was the first on a couple of things. A lot of other people have been first on a lot of other things, and I've covered those stories. But nowhere in my repertoire did I ever consider a film, an actual movie that Erika Kirk was a part of. So for those of you that wasn't able to catch her live yesterday, maybe you didn't see it, maybe you did. Let's just give it a quick recap. And then we're going to delve a little bit into some other clips that I guarantee a lot of you all have not seen yet surrounding Erika Kirk.
Like I said, assert she definitely has heard of Fort Huachuca. So I was interested when some people that were based at Fort Huachuca back in 2010, around 2010, maybe 2011, reached out to me to inform me that they knew Erika and that Erika definitely knows the base because a bunch of people from the base were affiliated and had worked with her from about 2010 until around 2013 on a mini film that never saw the light of day. As evidence of this, because I was thinking, am I being trolled here? And then no, I wasn't being trolled. As evidence of this, they actually provided me with movie posters, which were professionally shot, and the movie, which was entitled November Renaissance. Okay, sure. We obviously we know that she did some acting or reality TV. I don't know how we would phrase it. We know that she was pursuing the stage. Obviously, she was involved in pageants, and yeah, we're checking out this movie poster before I tell you what it's all about, what the movie itself is about. Just by way of association, virtually everyone involved in this movie, the actors, the stunt doublemen, they are involved with Fort Huachuca, okay? Involved with the military at the very least. The person they said she was really close to was Clayton Haugen. I hope I'm saying that last name right. And maybe it's just Hogan. And he does marketing for the defense contracting firm Dillon Aerospace. There's Don Fry. You might just think of him as a fighter, but he actually graduated from high school in Sierra Vista and then trained in judo at Fort Huachuca. There is Peyton McCormick. Her grandfather is Colonel Pete McCormick. Her father is Lieutenant Colonel Alan McCormick, once stationed at Fort Huachuca. Peyton was also, by the way, Miss Teen USA in 2006. Priscilla Annual. And again, we can pull up that poster, Skylar, so they can just see we're going through the names here as well. Her father was a lieutenant stationed at Fort Huachuca. There's also Chantel Thuy. I didn't have too much time to go through that person's background. I bet I could find a clear connection to Fort Huachuca since that's the theme. But we can tell you that her dad worked in artificial intelligence for IBM. So I'm thinking maybe he had something to do with Fort Huachuca. And then that Price Mitchum, that just gets dark. I mean, that young man or older man got put in a Psych 5150 hold. And I mean, I don't know where that direction heads to. Long family of actors. I've got to prod that narrative a bit more. The point is that they told me there's absolutely no way that she's not familiar with Fort Huachuca. I don't know why that was said by Andrew Colvett. She most definitively was, just by nature, like I said, of what her mom did. And also this poster proves it. Okay, that narrative is officially over. This whole, oh, this is crazy, what are we talking? Okay, that's just done. We can end that, okay? Erika in this film was set to play a character named Evelyn Mathis. We know this because we found the remnant of a Kickstarter that was still available to the public. Now, I wish I had given to this when it was first put up back in 2012, 2013, because I would then be able to open all of these posters and learn more about that particular character. But I can tell you definitively that this was a movie about corporate espionage, assassins, and technology, nanotech, all used to help the government and corporate financial institutions maintain power. I am not kidding. I'm going to read you the description here before showing you a video. It says, in the world of tomorrow, the mind has become a hard drive linked to the internet. And once the present divide between technology and humanity has become next to non-existent, driving this world forward are the many emerging multinational corporations that have grown in power far beyond the control of world governments. In this reality, financial institutions vie for dominance through corporate black ops. These clandestine endeavors are carried out by figures known as proxies, cloak and dagger assets that are hired in secret to remove rivals from power or to protect corporate capital from harm. To deliver it in 2013, that didn't happen. Here is the director, Clayton Hogan, speaking about this movie.
You guys just saw there was a visual pitch to really give you a feel for the atmosphere, but as far as concept goes, we really developed it around a number of questions that we were asking ourselves. Now, these questions range from anything from how can we manipulate someone's senses enough so that they believe a false reality, when in reality something else is going on entirely? Or even how can someone like the class geek pirate and steal, say, the varsity quarterback's knowledge and skill set? Or even more so, how can the knowledge and skill set of a Navy SEAL be copied and transferred to somebody else? And this concept became possible when we really pushed the boundary on what's called nanotechnology. And that's tiny little microscopic machines that carry out their function on an atomic level. Now, with nanotechnology, we were able to create this plausible and believable mind-bending and reality-bending concept that is grounded in developing physics theories out there and developing science. So really the question you should ask yourself is, what happens in a world where the brain is a hard drive, your eyes become video cameras, and knowledge is not learned so much it is just programs that are installed onto you?
Yeah, so there's that. Let me just say, again, for those of you that are just joining, we're going to be speaking about Erika Kirk. We're going to be speaking about the film Sound of Freedom. If you all know, and how that ties to some of the rumors around Erika Kirk. The Sound of Freedom and its ties to Freemasonry. We're going to be speaking about Mel Gibson, because all of it, believe it or not, will be connected in this video. Now, I stated in another video that wasn't alive, for those of you that have been keeping up, that I believe that there's a good chance that some of these things that have been released by Erika seem strategic, even by those that are on quote-unquote Erika's side, maybe the people, her handlers, maybe the people that may be behind Erika Kirk or above Erika Kirk, if you will. It seems very orchestrated because more clips keep coming out, and I'm going to provide you a couple of more clips I guarantee a lot of you all have not seen yet. Excuse me. I do also want to state that 3 of my last 5 videos have been shadow banned. For those of you that don't know what shadow ban means, it means that YouTube refuses to promote or push the video. And so one of the films I highly encourage you all to go and check out is something I dropped 2 or 3 days ago about a guy named Sasha Riley, who is a U.S. Army veteran, Iraq war veteran. This guy is claiming that he remembers from the age of 5 being a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, and he vividly remembers certain people that were involved, including President Donald Trump, Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas, Senator Lindsey Graham, and even politician Jim Jordan, right? Everything I say in this video is alleged. These are not my words. These are his words. We covered that extensively, and for obvious reasons. He spoke about unaliving of children, and the list goes on. And the video was shadow banned. It's sitting at like maybe 15,000, 20,000 views. Most of my followers, I don't even think know that I dropped the video. Another video I highly encourage you all to go and check out will be the video about illegal immigration, how the U.S. government is using our tax dollars to fund illegal immigration. All right. And so you can find that in the video tab on this channel. I want to make sure that I say that at the beginning. Now, let me go ahead and show you all a clip, and hopefully I won't be flagged for playing this, of Erika Kirk speaking with her eye doctor. Her eye doctor. All right. Many of us have had questions about Erika Kirk's eyes, and it's just more and more weird clips coming out about this lady. So let's watch this together. There's some music that's playing in the background, so maybe I'll have to mute it at some point, but I'm going to try to play as much as I can.
Here with Dr. Steve Cohen, my favorite eye doctor. I've been going to him forever. Yes, you are my only eye doctor.
Let me just say for the record, that's awkward to me. I understand that a lot of us, if people were to find videos and pictures of us 10 years ago, then I'm sure there are things we did and said that we probably would not be the proudest of. But I just feel like touching your doctor on the leg like that with your Miss Arizona, Miss USA outfit on, it's not a good look. It's weird to me. With just the two of you sitting there, it's weird to me. And if you don't think a grown man is going to notice that you went out of your way to lean down and touch his leg, the inside of his leg like that, then you're sadly mistaken. Something tells me that Erika knows that already, but let's continue. Maybe I'm nitpicking.
Yes, you are my only eye doctor. And I just wanted to have him speak to you about a few things.
I've been in practice now since 1985, so it's been a while. You don't remember 1985?
No, I would not
yes,
yet.
Yes, but, and the whole practice has been based upon building relationships. And that's why I'm so excited to be sitting here with you, because when I think about the relationships over time that I've been able to build up with many patients, you're right at the top of the list. And it's so incredibly exciting to see what's going on with you, and to everything that's happening. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. And to have been a part of that and to have known you for so long.
Well, it's an honor to have you be a part of it. I'm very grateful.
One of the things, I think back to looking at you now and seeing the grace and the elegance and how beautiful you are, and thinking back to what a beast you are on a basketball court. This is an incredible basketball player right now.
So he just calls her beautiful, and then he's about to speak now about her skills in basketball. I want you all to take a listen to what he chooses to say and how he described Erika Kirk once she's playing basketball on the basketball court. Watch this.
Here. So with all that you look at and see how she looks in her gowns and strutting up and down, nothing compared to what she looked like on a basketball court in her sneakers and the intensity you played with, because nobody played defense.
You've seen me in my true colors.
I've seen it in true colors, and we had a routine that we did when Erika was playing basketball, because you look at this face, take a look at this face, you look at this face now, she had a game face that was scary, and what she would do is that she would get this sort of scowl that she looked at, and it was almost as if there was an alter ego to Erika when she played basketball.
It was almost as if she had an alter ego. It was almost as if there was an alter ego within Erika Kirk. That's what her doctor just said. Her alleged doctor. Yeah, okay. Let's continue.
Game time.
It was game time.
You had to bring it out.
And you brought it out better than anyone. So Erika would come near the sidelines, I'd be up in the stands, and at some point we would make eye contact, and I would give her the look, and we would
Game face.
And it was game face.
Yeah, that aged like wine, or maybe it aged like milk, depending on who you're talking to. And you're talking about Erika Kirk seemingly or seems to have some sort of alter ego. I'm gonna go ahead and say something that, listen, I'm not saying that this is a fact. I'm just telling you in my spirit what I feel. If you're on Patreon, then you probably should already know my views on this. I'm not so sure. Okay, somebody said that my sound is breaking up pretty badly. Can you all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if my audio is fine. Put a 2 in the chat if it is not. A 1 if you can hear me just fine. A 2 if there's something wrong with audio. Okay. Most people say that they can hear me, so I'm going to just continue. So I'm going to say something that may age well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not so sure that Erika Kirk is human. Yeah. I'm not so sure that this woman is human, or if this is even a woman. I know what it sounds like. When we start to discuss The Sound of Freedom, the film, The Sound of Freedom, Mel Gibson, some things that have been said about Hollywood and the military, the CIA, things of that sort, then we're going to talk about controlled opposition. And I just truly believe that we have to listen to our spirit, man. And one of the things about controlled opposition is that some people, even who we believe are good, are on the good side of this, won't entertain certain possibilities, such as the fact that maybe Charlie Kirk was in on what happened September 10th. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying the possibility of it. Some people won't even entertain that possibility. If it's proven that that's not the case, then cool. We take that new information. But what I'm saying is that those that are not even willing to entertain that possibility, if I were you all, I would be side-eyeing them. Why am I mentioning that? If you want me to believe that all these things that we've already discussed and we're about to discuss in this video about Erika Kirk, you mean to tell me Charlie Kirk didn't know any of these things about Erika Kirk? He didn't know that she was in a film, that she was in a music video, that she was a part of all these weird military connections. Apparently the woman was in China. The woman was in Romania at the age of 17. This is not normal. She went to Liberty College. Many of you all will remember where is it at? Candace Owens' Excel sheet. Do you all remember this Excel sheet right here? On this Excel sheet, it's labeled Liberty University, Eastern Europe, the SEX, and I can't say certain words, but you all can see it if it's the third tab. The inappropriate moving of human bodies, especially underage. And then the military. And she's been, her and her team have been making all these connections, right? Well, something I didn't know is that if you look under Liberty University, it's where is it at? It's the second one. Erika Kirk attended Liberty University. We already know that because she graduated like a Catholic Jesuit or something of that sort. But it's another one. Where is it at? I think it's the last one. It says, yes, Falkirk Center. Jerry Falwell and Charlie Kirk's mission, which failed because of Jerry Falwell's SEX scandal. Here's the part. Here's the important part. Erika Frantzvey was a Falkirk fellow. This eventually was spun to become Turning Point Faith. So maybe I misunderstood, and it's possible. I thought Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk met during an interview that Erika Kirk had with Charlie to work at Turning Point USA. Am I understanding that wrong? Because it's showing here that she was a fellow in the Falkirk Center, right? So maybe there's something I'm missing here. Anyways, regardless of the answer, something's off here. Something's not making sense here. Because you want me to believe that Charlie didn't know any of these things about Erika? I'm struggling to understand that part. But as if things can't get any more weird, if you all haven't seen this yet, Candace, I just played a clip of Candace speaking about the film, what is it, November Renaissance, that Erika Kirk was a part of. Well, take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes footage. Yo, what in the world? Let me play that again one more time. How is this real? How is this real? Y'all, it's like we're supposed to be suspicious of this person. When I say I look at Erika Kirk's eyes and I'm not sure I get human being, I'm not joking. You all can say I'm saying that for shock value. I'm not. I'm saying that to be exact. I'm not. When I say something's off with her eyes, I'm not just saying her spirit is different. I'm saying, man, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm looking at. And I think they know that. And then you see all these clips right here. All right. So, and he, oh yeah, let me make sure before I forget. This is one of the behind the scene photos that they took of Erika Kirk on the roof of a building, which that the roof of that building kind of looks familiar, with some sort of sniper. Like, how is this real? How is this real? And she posted this. Right? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's proven that she's tied to the CIA. It's proven that her mom is a spy. Things just continue to get more and more weird. Well, let's speak a little bit about something else. So, in Candace's episode yesterday, she made a great point. One of the biggest donors to TPUSA is I forget their names, but it's an organization based out of Nevada. Do you all remember? This organization is also funding another organization. One of the largest TPUSA donors, I believe, is also funding an organization that has pledged to build some sort of center or some sort of group home or something for underage victims of human, you know what. What is it called? Okay, so that organization, on their website, Candace talked about how this organization was not going to reveal the location of the group home or whatever it's going to be called out of safety and protection of the victims, of the individuals that will be living there. And it's going to be like some ridiculous amount of acres. But despite the large size of land, they're only going to have like 6 people living at the home, and they're all females. Anyways, this was leading people to believe that maybe some of the accusations are true about a lot of these organizations that says that they want to end human, you know what. Let me say, let me think of a safe word. Transportation. Human transportation. And instead, a lot of these organizations are fronts, and they're actually engaging in human transportation. Right? Human pushing, human transportation. Well, I want to speak about a film, and we're going to speak a little bit about why I believe that it's similar. So how many of you all remember this film right here called Sound of Freedom? All right. Sound of Freedom was a film that came out about 2 years ago. And I remember because I covered it on the channel. Many of you all probably wasn't following the channel, so you probably haven't seen the video. But when the film first came out, I was very skeptical of it because I saw a lot of things that were suspicious. Those of you that don't know, this film, Sound of Freedom, is about the quote-unquote real life story inspired by a guy by the name of Tim Ballard, who we're going to speak about here in a moment, who was actively engaged and involved in the world of trying to end illegal human transportation. All right. illegal human pushing, if you will. And just the cover alone was already a red flag to me, because obviously y'all know I'm a bit different. I look at things different. And remember, there's a famous quote: the moment that people start to view the world from the perspective of symbols and paying attention to symbols, then you're going to see the world completely different. I immediately noticed the red, white, and black theme, which is really big in Freemasonry. It's really big in those that are in the know. They typically use this sort of color patterns. You'll typically see black and white for duality, right? And there's always like a hint of red. You're going to see that here in a moment with another film that we're going to speak a little bit about. Another thing about this film that was weird to me is that he's holding a little kid here. And I don't like the placement of his right hand, but you can say I'm nitpicking. But after you see some of the other things that came out about this film, then maybe you won't nitpick. Because for those of you that don't know about this film, it was actually promoted by Mel Gibson. So much, in fact, that a lot of people thought that this film that was about trying to end the illegal transportation of human bodies, they really thought that Mel Gibson promoting this film was some sort of indicator that this film was legitimate. They were also pushing this narrative at the time that this film was being suppressed, despite the fact that the film was shown in theaters, and the guy Tim Ballard, as I'm going to show you here, was actually getting a lot of airtime on Fox News.
On July 4th, the #1 movie in America wasn't Indiana Jones. Disney spent $300 million resurrecting Harrison Ford and releasing the summer blockbuster. But there's another movie dominating the box office. It's called The Sound of Freedom, and it beat Indiana Jones on opening day. The film's based off the true story of...
I'm going to pause it here because they're going to say words that's going to get the video flagged. But you can see here just a little bit of the film. Right? How can anybody root against this film? It's talking about real crime, real evil that takes place in the world. And they're exposing it, and they're raising awareness and bringing a lot of attention to something that isn't nearly spoken about enough. But again, I'm going to tell you what some of my problems are with the film. Now, I'm going to fast forward here just a little bit so you can see who guest appeared on Fox News. Look who it is. Tim Ballard. This is Tim Ballard. So the narrative around the fact that, they're suppressing this film, they don't want this film to reach the masses, it was a lie. It was a lie. It's just simply not true. Okay? But let me show you all the first clip that Mel Gibson actually promoting the film.
The most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
Now, part of the reason a lot of people deem this to be credible, even though Mel Gibson had absolutely nothing to do with the film, he's not one of the producers, he's not one of the directors, he's not an actor, and he's not an actor in the film. So many people was wondering why he was promoting the film, because if Mel Gibson is promoting it, then it makes it more credible. It makes it more believable. It means that this really is about exposing the evils in the world. Why is Mel Gibson held in such high regard? Well, because as many of you all know, Mel Gibson in the early 2000s came out and spoke out against Hollywood. He spoke out against the JEWISH, if I could speak, JEWISH community. He accused them of several things in Hollywood, controlling certain things, bankrupting and going after certain people. And here's just a snippet of him exposing Hollywood.
Surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, Weird Town, where the stranger wanders in and and all the people are in the bar, and they all shut up when he looks at them, and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real.
Now, I want to remind everybody that even though he got a lot of credit, or a lot of people respected and appreciated the fact that he would come out and expose Hollywood, I want to remind everybody that Mel Gibson is still a part of Hollywood. You can't expose, which is going to be relevant to what we're going to speak about here in a moment about the film Sound of Freedom, and then I'm going to tie it to Erika Kirk. You can't expose these things and still be affiliated with these people, because believe it or not, the people that are running Hollywood, the elites, the higher ups, are the very people that's behind the illegal transportation of human bodies. These are the people that are doing it. If you don't believe people in our government is involved, then you got another thing coming, right? You're sadly mistaken, right? So how can you expose Hollywood and remain a part of Hollywood if you're Mel Gibson, right? So the reason why Mel Gibson promoted this film wasn't really because he actually cared about the cause. I don't believe. It's because he was close to the people that were behind the film, such as the producers, right? And I'm going to butcher the guy's name. I'm not even going to attempt to say the guy's name, but this is one of the guys that helped produce the film, right? So that's why Mel Gibson was promoting the film. Which, by the way, in itself, yes, I agree with what Mel Gibson said in the clip, such as the first step to anything is awareness. But what does making millions of dollars on you, like helping you make millions of dollars on this film, how does that help end the illegal transportation of human bodies? How? I looked up if they donated the funds or the proceeds or a portion of the proceeds to organizations, 501c3s, nonprofits, grassroots organizations that's dedicated to getting policy work done, to trying to actually end the illegal transportation of human bodies. And from what I saw, I didn't see them any causes. Some movie theaters donated a portion of the proceeds, but Angel Studios, the people that were behind Sound of Freedom, I didn't see anywhere where they donated money to any cause. So what was this film really about? How are you actually trying to help if you're simply putting together a movie, right? Us helping you make more money that's going to go directly to the people in Hollywood. I don't understand how that's helping, right? Here's another photo of Mel Gibson and the producer from the film, right? And he has a Spanish name. Once again, I'm not going to attempt to say his name because I'm going to butcher it. All right. And this guy actually has a history in Hollywood himself, including the modeling and the music industry. We already know I've exposed the music industry for well over 4.5, 5 years now. So we already know what the music industry is about. This is a photo of the same guy who was a producer of that film, and it's going to matter here in a moment. I would also like to bring it to your attention, if many of you all remember, Mel Gibson produced a film called The Passion of Christ. A lot of people don't remember this, but closer to the time when the film came out, he actually received a lot of backlash because of the portrayal of Jesus Christ in that film. Some people felt that it was a bit aggressive. It was a little bit too much attention placed on how persecuted Jesus Christ was. I personally didn't mind it. I love the film. But I also find it weird when you choose how you go about putting together a film about Jesus Christ, because how do you pick an actor? All right. How do you screen people who come in to try out for the actual role? Do they have to be of certain height, of certain weight? Do they have to have a beard? Do they have to have long hair, short hair? Do they have to be do they have to have a lot of melanin in their skin? Do they have to be somewhat on the fair skin side? Do they have to be white? Do they have to be Hispanic, black, what? How do you decide that? Brown skin. How do you decide that? Those are certain things I think about. All right. But a lot of people don't know that the movie Sound of Freedom, that supposedly is dedicated to this cause, this is another connection to Mel Gibson. The actor in the film for Passion of Christ is also the main character in The Sound of Freedom. Did you all know that? So the guy who played Jesus Christ in The Passion of Christ, 20 years ago, whenever it was, 15 years ago, whenever it was, is the same guy in The Sound of Freedom. That's interesting. Another reason I do not trust Mel Gibson promoting any films in Hollywood, and leads me to believe that Mel Gibson is 100% controlled opposition, because we all know that Mel Gibson has been showing us certain signs to indicate the fact that there's a strong chance Mel Gibson is not only a Freemason, but an occultist. Right? Here's Mel Gibson doing what they call the hidden hand pose. This is a Freemasonic hand gesture. And we covered this many times on the channel, from Will Smith, R. Kelly has done it, and the list goes on. But someone else that we've covered in the past that's done it are the one and only Beatles, right? Who I believe were Freemasons. Not just from these hand poses, but I'm going to show you another reason I believe it. It says here, the Beatles were Freemasons, Illuminati proof. And you can see here, they're throwing up all sort of hand signs, right? The AOK, the 666, the devil horns, right? They're doing the one-eye symbolism with the 666, right? And of course, we've already covered the album cover for the Beatles, right? And the one and only Aleister Crowley is featured on the album cover. That alone is proof enough for me. All right. But there's another photo of our good friend Mel Gibson. Doing the one and only one-eye symbolism. This picture alone tells us what we need to know about who and what Mel Gibson is. Right? As we know, this runs rampant in Hollywood, right? As the famous comedian once said, it's one big club and we ain't in it. All right. Now, before I move on to the next point, let me make sure that I'm not leaving anything out with this. Mel Gibson, okay. Let's see here. The next thing is Mel Gibson was a part of a film back in, I believe, 1997 called Conspiracy Theory. And once again, I mentioned earlier that there is a constant theme that you'll constantly see, which is the red white and black theme, white and black for duality, and then they're going to add some red in there as well, just like the Sound of Freedom, right? Which, by the way, there's the white and black in that one as well. White and black there with a little hint of red. And this 1997 film by Mel Gibson, for those of you that don't know, you're not familiar, this film is actually covering a character who Mel Gibson played, who learned a lot of things about the world and how it actually works. And he was trying to warn people before he was actually sought after, right? And if you know anything about how Hollywood works, how those that are in control works, how Freemasonry works, who I believe Freemasons run the world, they like to foreshadow things. So do you believe it's a coincidence that the same person here, Mel Gibson, would star in a film 1997 called Conspiracy Theory, where he's warning people about Hollywood and the way in which the world works, just so he can then later, some years later, in the early 2000s, do just that? Do you think that's a coincidence? Of course it's not a coincidence, right? Yeah. So now this person, we're expected to believe, is rooted in good faith when he's telling us to go see the film Sound of Freedom. But speaking of Sound of Freedom, let's talk a little bit about this film. So they exaggerated the story that Tim Ballard shared. That's first and foremost. The story that Tim Ballard shared and the way in which the film portrays that story is not accurate at all. They did a lot of exaggerating, right? Tim Ballard, by the way, let's see if we can pull our buddy up. Where you at, Tim? Hold on one sec. Tim Ballard, for those of you that don't know, once again, inspired this film, but he's also a governmental secret agent. He was once a government secret agent, right? Tim Ballard also began his career in the CIA. So let's back up here a little bit, because we've already spoken about Erika Kirk's ties to CIA, which are irrefutable. You can't deny that anymore. There are several interviews where she's interviewing people that are ex-CIA, which I don't believe there's a such thing as ex-CIA. Brian, the auditor, and I have already discussed this. Once CIA, always CIA. Right? So this guy, we're expected to believe, inspired a film that's about the illegal transportation of human bodies. That film gets promoted by somebody like Mel Gibson. They want us to believe that this film is being blocked and it's being suppressed all over the country, all over the world, yet it becomes the number one film in the world. It's because it was never suppressed, right? Another interesting thing about Tim Ballard is that there's a picture that came out about Tim Ballard that he has since addressed, and I'm going to show you what he said when he addressed it, where he gives a press conference, and the tie that he's wearing appears to have Freemason, the Freemason logo on it, which is the compass with the G in the middle. Do y'all think that's a coincidence? I don't trust this guy. You say, well, who cares? I don't care what you affiliate with, who you're affiliated with. If you are raising awareness, if you're bringing attention to something that is evil, that needs to be exposed, that's all that matters. No, it doesn't. I'm going to tell you why. Because the elites, those that are in power, Freemasons, believe in duality. when we use the term controlled opposition, I believe it's maybe lost its meaning. Some people don't even know what it means. So let me help you understand what I mean when I say it. Controlled opposition means, I've discussed this with Tupac. Tupac was given to the black community. Martin Luther King Jr. in my Martin Luther King documentary. Those of you that have watched it, you should know this. As above, so below. They will give us our leaders. So that way they can control what that leader says to us before we create our own leader. If we create our own leader, we know that they're going to be for the people. But what if we give them both a good guy and a bad guy, and we control both of them? And they think just be against the bad guy. But what if the bad guy is on the same team as the good guy, but they just pretend like they're against each other, like good cop, bad cop? The Hegelian dialectic tactic. We present the problem so that we can then present the solution as well. The solution is something we wanted to do all along, but we got to create a problem first. Similar to what the Trump administration has been doing. Similar to what the Biden administration did. And every administration in the past. Right? Every administration prior to that. Right? Which is why at the beginning I said with this Charlie Kirk thing, y'all got to pay attention to who's telling you what. Because there are certain things they're not going to tell you. You got to think for yourself. Even, I don't have to say anybody's names. Even some of your favorites. Maybe you got to entertain the possibility, and even with me, entertain the possibility that someone sent me here so that you can think that I'm really for the truth, but I'm going to steer you in a different direction. But it's going to be so convincing that you're going to think we're going in the right direction. When all along, you should have stopped 2 stop signs ago. 2 exits ago, you should have got off. You were already going in the right direction. That's why I believe people like Tim Ballard are. Right? Ex-CIA. You're not ex-CIA, bro. You say, what does that have to do with the film? Well, if they are able to present us a film called Sound of Freedom, where they're exposing the world of illegal human transportation, but they don't really give us any names. What names was given in the film? What organizations that are involved, that are doing these things, that are aiding in these things? Who are the people in government that are benefiting, that are participating? The film gave us none of that, which should let you know this isn't really about truth. What did that film lead to? What laws got passed that actually have a great impact on all these missing children? Are you going to feature stories like Sasha Riley, where he's naming Donald Trump? He's naming Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas. He's naming Senator Lindsey Graham. Are you going to feature these people? Are you going to investigate to see if they're actually credible? Because according to them, they've turned a lot of this information over to the government. Now we're cooking with grease. Now we're cooking with gas. But instead, the film comes out, the film comes and it goes. What was the real purpose of this film? Now, let me show you what our buddy here, Tim Ballard, alleged Freemason Tim Ballard, let me show you what he had to say about the quote-unquote accusations about him. So let's go back here.
Well, who knows? There's nothing. Hey guys, it will never cease to amaze me how far the godless leftist media will go to run interference for human traffickers. They're throwing everything at me right now. I just saw a post that seems to be trending in certain places saying that I am in favor of putting microchips in children so we can track them. It's complete baloney. They won't do to stop you from watching Sound of Freedom, to discredit everyone a part of the film, including me. But we're not going to let them do that. We're going to force the light into the darkness, force the conversations that in the end will rescue children. Thank you guys so much.
The post here says there's absolutely nothing they won't accuse me of to get you from watching Sound of Freedom. I have at this point been accused of everything but perhaps unaliving someone. Expect more lies. Defeat them. Who are them? He's pushing the left versus right paradigm. He's pushing that nonsense. You mean to tell me you're part of the CIA, or you used to be, you began your career in the CIA, and you don't know that the left versus right is complete nonsense? You don't know that the enemy is both in the left and the right? Of course you know that. He says defeat them by watching Sound of Freedom anyway. How is that defeating someone by watching a movie? It's just going to help you make more money. And in this post where he says people are lying, he featured this photo here. Tim Ballard wearing a Freemason necktie. Where did you debunk this, though? Where did you debunk it? I don't trust you, and I don't trust this film. All right. Let me see here. So I believe that a film like this is put together so that they can control the narrative around the illegal transportation of human bodies. I believe that's what's happening here. All right. I believe they do this so they can control the conversation around it. So we have to ask ourselves, with the Erika Kirk, with the Charlie Kirk situation, are these just rumors? Why is it that certain people aren't entertaining certain conversations? Right? That's the question. This film, which apparently never came out, where she is, protecting corporate interest, which is literally what it appears that her and other people like her are doing in real life since the whole Charlie Kirk psyop. You know? Yeah, man. And this list here is crazy. I can't even read some of this. So I was trying to read it ahead of time to see if I'll be able to get away with reading some of it, and I just won't. I won't be able to read the things that they got listed on there. I also thought this photo here was interesting between Erika and her doctor, her supposed eye doctor. Is he the one that's responsible for those weird eyes? I don't know. But what I found interesting is the checkerboard pattern, the checkerboard floor right behind him. Do y'all see that? Yeah. I don't think that's a coincidence. This was posted at the end of the video that I played earlier, but I couldn't play the video all the way through because of the music. Yeah. So yeah, man. I predicted this before, or predicted isn't the word. What I think is going to happen with Erika and TPUSA, I believe they're going to continue to release more and more information to get people fired up. That's what I believe is going to take place. I believe Erika is going to continuously do weird things so that people can talk, because publicity is good publicity, bad publicity is still publicity. And they can capitalize that and use her as an instrument to push whatever narratives that they want. And by they, I just mean her handlers, whoever they may be. Right? Yeah. Didi, do you think mass donations will continue? I do not. Unless they come from major donors that are invested in other agendas. But from normal everyday people, I don't. I think it's just too much information out there at this point. When Ben Shapiro is allowed to pay $1 million to speak, you know. But back to my point before I forget this. Those that are not even entertaining the possibility that Charlie Kirk didn't know any of this. All right. I just learned something else earlier today. I didn't realize how low on the map Arizona was. I hadn't looked at a USA map in so long. I was like, man, I need to go back to school. I thought Arizona was a little higher up, but I forget it's literally on the border. And remember, Charlie Kirk is from Chicago. He was actually convinced at a later time to go to Phoenix so that can be the headquarters for Turning Point USA. And I believe he was convinced to do that by Tyler Boyer, who already knew Erika Francevy at the time. And apparently, Erika Kirk was actually dating or involved in some romantic or intimate sense with one of her co-stars from the film that she was starring in back in 2010, 2011, or whenever it was. So, yeah, man. Weird. DC Mister, thank you. I appreciate it. For the $10 super chat. Did Erika have her kids removed by CPS? Rumor. I don't believe she did. I did see the clip where somebody spoke on it and they accidentally said she had her children removed. But what they meant to say was they had a father removed, speaking about the children losing Charlie Kirk. Now, we'll also say that I'm still not convinced that Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk had children. I wasn't friends with these people. If Erika Kirk is really a person, but I'm still not convinced that she had children with Charlie Kirk. Maybe she did. But the discrepancy, like her son seemed to like age 3 years in a 10-month span. And we covered this on the channel as well. That's weird. That's weird. And she's posted another photo with her kid, or with the little boy, supposedly the little boy, and he's small again. But the photo she posted as an alibi, or she sent to Andrew as an alibi, that kid looked big. You know? Elo the B, thank you so much for the $15 super chat. I think Candace's team checks out Didi's content. Expose Nick Fuentes. That poor kid is lost. Him and Alex Jones are obsessed with Candace. They need to go on rehab jealousy detox. Yeah, it's really weird what's going on with that, which reminds me actually, Elo, the B, this clip right here of Nick Fuentes. I want you all to take a listen to what Nick Fuentes said. And this is actually going to tie perfectly into what we covered. Even though I exposed Nick Fuentes yesterday, this is going to tie perfectly into what I'm saying about these people. You can't lose sight of, like, the Sound of Freedom was great, but this is why I believe it was done by controlled opposition, Tim Ballard being one of them, because they tell you what to think about illegal transportation of human bodies. They don't go all the way with it. What names did they give us? What organizations did they give us? What is it, call to action items did they give us? Right? There wasn't a whole lot done other than the fact that you made a lot of money, and I don't believe you donated the proceeds to any real causes. Are you talking about why they do what they do? Right? A lot of this stuff is satanic, it's ritualistic. A lot of these people believe in what Aleister Crowley taught. It's not just in Hollywood, it's in government, it's in politics. A lot of these people higher ups are into that sort of thing. They're into harvesting energy. The younger the human being, the more innocent, the more pure, right? But what they want to do, and I believe this is part of the agenda of Sound of Freedom, and I know this is harsh criticism, is that they tell you what you should be thinking and what direction you should be looking. You should be looking over here at the people and the reason that they're doing it, which is because a lot of them are Satanists, and that is ritualistic. They want to remove the possibility that is Satanists involved, right? That these are devil worshipers, that these are occultists involved. They want to remove that possibility so that they can, by default, remove God. Do you follow me? Because now you just think, oh, it's evil people. They're just into these things. They're making money. People are horny. They're freaks. No, it's deeper than that. People like Nick Fuentes is doing the same thing.
Just about somebody was trafficking girls somewhere. That's not the story. The story is someone was trafficking girls to acquire blackmail to sell to Israel. That is the point. And that is what I said last night. I said, for someone to make it all about pedophilia, I said, it's kind of just like, it's not really true because, again, it does get away from what's happening there. It is not satanic pedophilia cult stuff. It is really run-of-the-mill prostitution and sex trafficking, but for a international political purpose.
What? That's what's most important?
And it's important not to lose sight of that. I saw Marjorie Greene say this is about female victims. It's actually not about female victims. It's about the integrity of our government. You understand the difference?
Or it's about both. It's about both. Why are you doing an either or instead of an and both? It's about both. Equally as both. What are you talking about, bro? These were victims.
It's not to say we're not sympathetic. It's not to say that it's not criminal. It's not to say that it's good. I'm not defending it. I'm saying this is not date.
Yeah, you're not, even if you don't have to be defending it, but it sounds like you're diminishing it, which is weird. For you to say that it's not about some satanic cult, how would you know that, bro? You can get off my screen. It's just weird. Weird. Didi, any new docs coming out? Love your work. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Documentaries. I eventually plan to have a Patreon. It's going to be Patreon exclusive. I don't think I'll be able to get away with it on YouTube. I think I'm going to finally make some time here in the next couple of weeks to start on my Kobe Bryant documentary, which is going to be crazy. I have some, and by documentary, I mean something that's going to be longer than an hour, even though the Kobe thing is probably going to be 6, 7, 8 hours because it's going to have so many parts to it. So that's something I'm going to try to figure out some time to get around to. But shorter videos I do have lined up over the next week or so. Again, I just have to find time to do these things. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I truly love your videos and how you are for truth. Keep it up and may God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Aaron T. Party, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. If she is not human, then someone or other people made her that way. She wasn't born this way. She was manufactured, and she is a victim like Emmanuel Macron. Interesting perspective. Very interesting perspective. Let me sit with that for a little bit. Yeah, let me sit with that for a little bit, because that could be true. All right. That's actually a very good point. Let me sit with that one a little bit. I wonder if Erika was transported as a child and was turned into a. I thought about that too. Unfortunately, kids can be, by their own parents. Yep, I'm with you. I considered that too. Think about it. When you look at her story, or this person's story, I mean, it's possible. She came up without the history through the modeling industry and won immediately. On Patreon, we've already covered the behind the scenes of the modeling industry, what it really takes to make it in the modeling industry. The guy, Sasha Riley, the Army veteran that accused Trump of working with Epstein, he said that from what he can remember as a child, the way Trump and Epstein engaged with each other, it was clear to him that Trump was actually Epstein's boss. Y'all need to go and watch that video when you get a chance. When you go to that video to watch it, it's a fairly long video. It's like 40 minutes. But I link the in the description to the original audio file that's here on YouTube. He said that from the way in which they engaged with each other, from what he could tell, it seemed that Epstein answered to Trump. Let that sink in. We both know that Epstein and Trump were heavily involved in the modeling world. The modeling world, just like the stripper world or the exotic dancing world, is, what is it? It's literally this close from illegal activity, illegal transportation of human bodies. All right. It's not a conspiracy theory. A lot of women dibble and dabble in both worlds. Modeling is no different from stripping. The fact that modeling in that sense is even something that we accept in this society is sick to me. Oh, there's an art to it that you don't understand. Like what? You have to be pretty slim. You have to be curvy. You have to, and you have to get up on stage and walk and show off your body, and you win for that. That is weird. That's weird. It's weird. Thank you so much, Aaron, once again for the $10 super chat. Might need dig deeper to see if that movie poster is just something made to make us think they were working on a movie, or if they were actually making a movie. Yeah, that's a good point. You mean the Erika Kirk movie? It's a good point. Candace Owens alleges that she went and looked at some archives of comments that were made back during that time that solidified to her, and she spoke to people that were involved, that solidified to her that this is true. Trust me, when I listen to anybody, I'm considering all possibilities. Their potential role in trying to trick us or make us look in a certain direction, I consider all of that. For sure. That's a good point, though. Final movement is the children's rights movement. Not sure if I follow. You have to break that down for me, but thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Melissa, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Hi again. A movie was the number one because big podcasts like Tony Robinson accepted him and helped promote it. At that time, Mel Gibson was in a project in a country, Europe, where illegal transportation was happening. Interesting. I mean, Tony Robinson is very popular. But are you so popular that your podcast can make a movie go #1 in the world or #1 in the country? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if you got that much clout, but maybe that's part of it. I just don't think that it was actually as suppressed as they wanted us to believe. I think they wanted to pretend like the powers that be was behind trying to suppress it because they're exposing. No, you're working with those people. You're a part of Hollywood. It's like Dave Chappelle. You expose these things about Hollywood, and now you're back in Hollywood with $50-60 million contracts, working with the same people. That's weird. Didi, I just watched your MLK Jr. show before this, blowing my mind. What can I do with all of this info? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Well, if you are informed, then, and we understand the past, then this is very difficult for the past to repeat itself. So it helps us be able to identify controlled opposition. When someone is given to us and they give us nuggets of truth, they help, change some things in this world, but then they trick us to believe that we're going in the right direction, right? It causes us to question who's behind you, to ask those types of questions. Who's funding you? What do they want? Like, a lot of people love Trump. Do they know who Miriam Adelson is? You need to be just as concerned or focused and invested in who this person is that's funding Donald Trump, who's giving him the most money, her, Elon Musk, right? What do they want? What's their vision? What are their values, right? I think that helps. Camille, thank you so much for the $15 super chat. Hey, Didi, if Erika isn't human, what would she be? I've wondered if they unalived the real Erika and had this girl be her. She doesn't always look the same. You thought. I agree. Thank you for all you do. How many people in the chat that's still left in here? It's about 2,000 of y'all that's left. How many of you all would say that Erika Kirk's tends to look different depending on the video? And I don't just mean like over the course of 10 years. People will gain weight, lose weight in their face and things of that sort. That's natural. But I mean, like, depending on the day, she looks a little different to me sometimes, like Trump does. Trump doesn't always look the same. And I don't mean like he's having a good day or a bad day. He looks more stressed or less stressed. I'm talking about Trump looks like a different person who is made to look similar to the Trump we were just looking at last week. You know? But to answer your question, I believe that it's possible that she could be a fallen angel. I don't want to get too carried away here on YouTube because YouTube is weird. But yeah. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I think Aleister Crowley put a spell on humanity that exists to this day. Those of us that grew up in the 80s, 90s see it more clearly. You can see it through simple things. Entrance doors are now on the left side. That's interesting. That's interesting. I try to think about this from a biblical lens. Can a human being place a curse on an entire country or an entire world? I don't know if they can. I do believe that us as a human race, I do believe that we're in a fallen state, and I think that's biblical. You know, so that's why I try to think about it. Maybe there's some truth to what you're saying, but I just wonder if it's a bit different. Maybe not Aleister Crowley himself. Maybe some entities that he was worshiping, involved with, you know. I watched it. Thank you so much, Tammy, for the $10 super chat. I watched it. I don't believe it. It is another PSYOP, MK Ultra mess. I don't know. He went back into the military, CIA, and NASA or NSA. Look for people with family issues to manipulate. Ask questions always. Who are you talking about exactly? You watched what exactly? Are you talking about the movie Conspiracy Theory by Mel Gibson? But yeah. Yeah, man. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, I missed one. What does it say? I believe she's a clone and is programmed in some way for a purpose only. Father, thank you so much for the follow super chat. I believe that's very possible. At some point, we're going to look back in 2026, 2025, and I believe what we're going to say is, isn't that funny? We used to not be so sure if this cloning stuff was real. That's common knowledge now. And I don't think that's going to be a thing in 20 years. That may be a thing in 5 years. And it's going to be a lot more feasible for people to understand and accept that. Trust your spirit. What is your spirit telling you when you look at an Erika Kirk, when you look at those eyes? It's weird, bro. It's weird. You know? But yeah. So there's that. Indeed. Let me it's been real. Donald Trump has a body double. Look closely. She may as well. I definitely believe that. I 100% believe that. And I'm willing to debate anybody about that too. Remote viewing is 100% real. I covered this one time in a Kevin Gates video, the rapper Kevin Gates. I don't know if that's true. Because again, I try to think about it from a biblical lens. It depends on what people mean by remote viewing, and I'm pretty sure I understand what you mean by that. It means you can view something and you don't have to be there to do it or be there to see it. Do you know about the Sasha Riley interview about Trump? Yes, I do. I covered it 2 days ago. I was just speaking about that. Maybe you just joined. But yes, I've referenced that a few times in this interview. I mean, in this video, in this live today. I covered it. I've encouraged people to go and check it out. Even if it's not my video, go and check out the links in the description of that video. I have the Substack of the transcript of the interview. That also includes other audio files in the description. That video was heavily shadow banned, which is why I'm using this interview to let people know about it. That video on everybody's channel should be at 1 million views or more. The video is barely sitting at like 20,000 views, 15,000 views, because it's shadow banned. And I heavily edited the interview. DC Mister, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Didi, who do you think cut that check to Nick as they did Megan on the Epstein defense and Alex like they did Nick on the Candace tag team? People keep asking me that, and apparently there's something that happened with Nick and AJ getting together. I got to go and watch it. I don't know. I'll do this. Let me go and watch whatever it is that they did together that I haven't seen yet, that I saw some people were talking about, and I can follow up with you. Just hold me to it. The children's rights movement will happen when we truly value how precious divine children are. Earthly angels who are messengers of wisdom and truth. Natural law. John Paul Rice, A Child's Voice. Yeah. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Yeah, I think there's a lot of money to be made, but I think more importantly, there's a lot of ritualistic things that are happening. Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, man. I've been live now for an hour and a half. I got some places to be. I got some things to do. Enjoy the rest of y'all's Friday. I'm going to try to have a video out by tomorrow. Hit the like button as always. Link to the merch store is in the description. Hopefully my new designs. I have like 7 to 10 new designs that should be here. I hope by next week. I think you all will love it. Just let me know what you think. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well. I'm going to get you all in the next one, man. Be safe out there. And I'm out. Peace. Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate of UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Doctor, just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright. No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Now let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours.
You're worse than the rich white people or the rich white Jews that own these record labels because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you? Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.